You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Pretty Little Liars After Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Pretty Little Liars Black and White After Show. We are in Season 4, Episode 19, Shadow Play. And as you guys know, the episode took a fun turn into black and white, so we wanted to play around with the same. I am your host, Kelly, and I've got with me, as always,
Sarah Giraud.
Hi, guys. I'm Kay.
So the color's going to shift a little bit, but, you know, black and white is always fun. We've got our own cool thing going on here. So this black and white kind of film noir episode, what did you guys think? How did you like the transition? Like, I want to talk about the transition from Spencer's little popping pills into the black and white.
I thought it was a little bit abrupt, and then I was so confused to whether it was a dream or some figment of Spencer's imagination until the end when we realized it was like a secret encoded message.
I actually didn't mind the transition. It was just figuring out if it's a dream, if it's reality, you know, and how the two tie together, basically. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until the end where we figured it out based on the clues what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think also it was kind of like a lesson to her that those pills aren't necessarily her best friend as much as she thinks that they are. Popping pills is never good, kids. But also we kind of got to watch her mind at work and kind of how she struggles with things. And I thought that was pretty interesting that we were basically inside Spencer's mind as she's kind of going through all of these things. And I like how in her world, Toby's like a cop. he's like the Dick Tracy, like coming in. He's always catching her when she's popping pills. Yeah. He's always coming in and, you know, saving the day at the end, which I thought was kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
No.
I wonder if they'll do a black and white maybe, or, you know, another version in someone else's head just to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Because we're only getting one perspective, and it would be good to get, you know, the rest of the girls and what they think. I'm choosing Arya.
Me too. Yeah. I was just gonna say that.
I want to see what would happen with her.
I'm going to take a phone call.
Oh, let's do that. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm calling for Pretty Little Liars.
Well, hello. This is Pretty Little Liars. Welcome. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to get give me my opinion on some stuff.
Give it to us. What do you got?
I don't think Ezra's A.
No. Why not? First, tell me your name.
Michael.
And where are you
Maryland.
calling from? Oh, Maryland. Nice. It's kind of late over there, huh? So, no, why don't you think Ezra's A? What makes you think he's not?
I mean, if you think about it, Ezra, A wears a hoodie. Ezra has never wear a hoodie.
That we've seen him in, though. Because once they revealed that he was A, like, they stopped putting him in a hoodie.
Was he not wearing a hoodie when he was walking away from the coffee shop when Arya's brother supposedly broke the car?
But wasn't he wearing a hoodie? Maybe he wasn't. I can't remember exactly. But wasn't he wearing a hoodie when he walked into the lair?
I mean, he's always wearing a hat, and he's never wore a hoodie. And at the end, they always show A wearing a hoodie.
Right, but remember there's about 10 different A's. Because remember when Mona was wearing the hoodie and Toby was wearing the hoodie. So it's kind of like all the team, for lack of a better word. Like, we know, like, there's a different people that wear the hoodie. So I've read this argument a lot on our YouTube comments and other places too, that there's no way, because in the end we see the real A with the hoodie. But how do we know that's the real A and not just somebody like on A's team that's doing these things? Like, how do we know which is which?
That's true. I'm just going with my gut. I mean, my gut has never never been wrong on this show.
So who do you think is A, if it's not Ezra?
Who do I think is A?
Do you have any clues?
I honestly think it's one of the grown-ups. One of the parents.
I've always said it was Dr. Sullivan that's going to come in and be A. Like, I've been saying that for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Or Mrs. What's her name? Grinwald.
Oh,
Grinwald.
okay.
Because I just have a feeling. I just don't think Ezra's A. Honestly.
Well, what do you think about Arya? Because a lot of people were speculating, too, that Arya could be kind of part of the A team. And, there's a lot of times when Arya is kind of, like, singled out, even in the opening credits. She's the one at the end of the opening that does the shh, in the thing, and she's by herself. So could that have something to kind of, is that, like, a hidden clue, maybe?
Yeah, that's true, because if you look at it, Arya has never really had any bad thing happen to her. So...
well, she was kind of bolted in a box once on the train.
That was once.
Once,
that was
right,
once.
right.
She never got locked in a room with Snake. She never got her teeth.
Right.
Never got anything go in her teeth.
She has been the one that's kind of suffered the least, as But then again, if Ezra is A, she's the girlfriend, so hopefully he would kind of take mercy on her. I don't know, but that's... Go ahead.
If she was A, do you think that it wouldn't be it wouldn't be too obvious it was her?
Yeah, we've gone back and forth with this a lot, whether one of the girls could possibly be part of that team, and it's really kind of hard to tell. And it would kind of ruin it for me, I think, if it was one of the girls. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be someone from the outside that you don't expect. Somebody, like, the whole Ezra thing was definitely a shock. And if it really is that he is hardcore going to be A at the end, like, that in itself was a big shocker. But even to find out that it was one of the parents or something like that is going to be better than if it happens to be one of the girls.
A lot of people want to see a difference in this character because over the past 3 seasons, we've seen him be the likable guy. We never seen really him do anything that's, shady. And now we're all suddenly seeing it, and everybody's automatically assuming he's A,
Yeah, there's been like a few little things, like all of when Arya found like the drawer full of money, and like these different little weird things, like when you go back and look, but they've been very subtle. But yeah, for lack, for the most part, he was this really likable character, and all of a sudden he's completely creepy in every scene that we see him in. So that was like abrupt, a very abrupt change. But I don't know, we're excited to kind of see where it goes.
Do you guys think that Alison could be A?
That could be interesting. Maybe she's just playing a trick on everyone.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past her.
Well, yeah.
I think it's just
she's making
that might be too obvious.
She's making people feel like she's she's like the girl who's been hurt through everything. But how do you know she's not the one pulling the shot? She is not the one who is the one who had this all planned.
Right, and it could be, and they've kind of alluded to that a little bit, but I think that might be a little too obvious. But maybe that is the thing, like hiding in plain sight. So maybe I don't know. But thank you so much for listening and calling in.
Yeah.
Make sure to keep watching and let us know.
I'll call in next week. Probably.
Yeah, do that for sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. No, that's interesting though. If you really, but then a lot of people are going with the twin theory too. So what if it's, what if it has something to do with that, and maybe if it turns out to be like a twin sister that she's.
It's going to be interesting to see how closely they mirror the book. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be the interesting twist at the end. Are they going to just have Alison be Alison, or is the twin really going to come out and we're going to find out that she has a twin?
Right, and there's been somebody brought up the poster in Allie's room that we didn't get to talk about.
Yeah. When
Emily went in and found the money, that she pulls it out of the poster and it's the twins on the poster.
Yeah.
So there's definitely those little things,
clues,
and there's clues everywhere, and we do spot them out, but sometimes we don't get a chance to be able to go through all of them because there's always so many.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's two teams of A. I know we've always talked about having the main A control everyone else, but I feel like there's two that don't know about one another. So I feel like there's an individual who is after Alison or whatever A is after, and then there is the group of A's that were formed that I think are interfering and crossing paths, and that's why everyone thinks that there's more than one A, but really there's one main A who doesn't connect with the rest of the A's. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah. Well, and to go with that a little bit, everybody has kind of become a soldier for A because everybody's doing things based on what A is convincing them they need to do or blackmailing them into doing. So everybody
But do you really-
is kind of an A character if you want to go that
If
far.
it was a real A, do you really think that A would trust other people with information to go out and do the work?
No, but I think it's kind of like a subliminal messages kind of thing. Like I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the note in Hannah's teeth, like just to like stop doing everything, scare them
Yeah.
into like, don't go look for Allie, don't do these things.
Exactly.
You know, so kind of like shaking up the game a little bit. And also, you
Well-
know, the person has to know that they lie to each other.
Yeah.
And they keep certain things from each other because they've all done it. Even we see that like played out, you know, that Spencer says, raise your hand if, you know, if you kept a
Yeah.
secret, you know, a romantic, you know,
Exactly.
a romantic secret from anyone in this room. And they all have. So maybe that like that's something too that you know, A uses to, you know, manipulate them individually.
I'm
Yeah.
open to any theories right now. I really don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, we've made so many predictions, and I don't even know if any one of them has come true up until this point. So,
Well,
see.
real quick too, just kind of like let's talk about like the episode in general. Like, what did you think of the fashion and the way the girls looked?
I loved it.
The PLL style.
My news and gossip has a little bit to do with it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really appreciate Paige's look. I know you said that too.
I thought that was a little
Yeah.
bit unfortunate. They tried to make her look a little too like
Yeah.
homely, and you know, those curls. Just I was not feeling it. I mean, because her face, like, she has a pretty face,
Yeah.
and her hair was just
It
kind of
was not
I didn't
good.
like
Not working.
who do you guys think was whose outfit did you guys like the most?
I
From the
always love Arya's ensembles the best.
I actually liked Mona's.
I liked Emily's.
Like I liked.
Oh, I
I,
liked
mean, all of
Emily's
their outfits
too.
were actually really cute.
And
but,
I liked
yeah.
Hannah's.
Yeah, I mean, they were all like really
Yeah.
good. The only thing I really didn't like was Paige's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
that was the only thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think all the girls looked great.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was definitely fun to see them in character like that.
Yeah.
With the shadows and all of that stuff.
I liked it.
So that was fun. All right, so let's move on to Emily and Paige. Like the girls want Emily to interrogate Paige about the time she spent with Shauna. And I feel like that was kind of empty. We didn't really get anything out of that.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, it was more just kind of, I mean, we got to see like the romance between the two of them and their struggles that they're going
Yeah.
through, and you know, they kind of, you know, they went a little far. We got to see,
Yeah,
got to see them like get
definitely.
busy a little bit.
I said not so family anymore.
No, no.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more of a story for the information that we need to
Right.
find out who A is, but that works too, I guess.
No, it was all about the love, all about
Yeah.
the love, which is okay.
Yeah, poor
okay.
Paige. She's just scared of being alone.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
What did you guys think about Ezra and Toby meeting at the lodge? And he makes a comment saying, you know, how they're, what did he say, like lodge brothers or
Yeah.
something like that? And do you think that had anything to do with the reality that Toby and Ezra might be working together in the future?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. At first, I thought that there was something shady going on, but then as the episode went on, we kind of figured out that he was stealing information. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I thought, because remember, we're inside Spencer's mind somewhat. So
Yeah.
I thought it was because of the time when she found out that Toby was working on the A team.
Yeah.
And then as she thinks Ezra's A, so they kind of have a little bit more of a friendly kind of rapport because
Yeah.
they were at once on the same side. So I thought maybe that had something to do with them being as
Yeah.
friendly as they were. But I still didn't get that they were on the same team.
Yeah,
Like at
no.
first, for just
Yeah.
a second, and then when we hear the conversation, he's just basically saying like we're brothers in the sense that we know what happens when you let a girl kind of cloud your judgment.
Yeah.
Basic kind of a thing. And he tells him that Allie's alive and Spencer knows how to find her, which is kind of weird because he's telling everybody.
Yeah.
Like he's telling everybody that. So I thought that was kind of interesting because he like runs and tells Arya after that.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. Like, I wonder what the point of that is, to kind of like deflect.
Well, maybe it's just Spencer's thought process, hoping that, you know, Ezra isn't really who she's found out he is, and she really wants him to be good because they would have never suspected Ezra to be A or to be after Allie. So it might just be subconsciously her wanting him to be good, and telling people that Allie is alive, and we see that in this episode she actually has issues with Allie.
Yeah, there's a lot of confrontation going on between the two of them.
Definitely. Yeah, that whole scene where they were all confronting Allie really spooked me.
Well, and I think like deep down they're all kind of mad at her for all these cryptic messages. They're not getting any real answers. They don't know whether or not to really kind of trust what she says because of the way that she was when she was around all the time. You know, she wasn't the nicest person. And so I think that all of that's starting to come out. Spencer's starting to crack anyway.
But do you think Spencer blames herself for Allie's disappearance? Because it's there was a moment in the episode where when she's having a conversation, or she's having a conversation with Toby, who says you let her go, or you conspired in her missing.
Yeah. And he said maybe she tricked you into doing
that she's the one pulling all the strings, and you could have covered up the to get away with murder, like that whole thing.
Yes.
Maybe. I think she's kind of going through all of those feelings. I think we kind of saw her go through all of those different stages of anger, of, you know, just being lost, of not really knowing kind of what is real and what, you know, what isn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, we see when she loses the pills, she kind of goes nuts. And, you know, we just kind of like see it's a little bit of an emotional roller coaster with Spencer in this episode.
I feel like she's the one that is a lot like Allie. Mm-hmm. And we see Spencer being the main character because, as Alison says at the end, you're kind of like the next in line to step up and control the group and tell them what to do. So a lot of the confrontation that's been going on between them is because of they are alike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Spencer has this image that she needs to be perfect and everything needs to be perfect, and Allie brings up the picture and how, you know, in the picture everything is perfect and she's immortal in the picture, and you know that's the only way to keep her immortality.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if maybe Spencer is feeling something in her head about her life and where she is and her family, keeping them happy and how everything needs to be perfect. So I'm like starting to think if Spencer really did have something to do with Allie's disappearance.
Well, you know, one of the comments that I saw that we had on YouTube was somebody did say that they thought it was Spencer and her whole family that was involved in it.
Oh my God.
Well, it was at her house.
Right. And then, you know, with Melissa and Ren and, you know, her and, you know, even her parents. You know, they seem to, I mean, that's an interesting theory, especially after tonight's episode when you just kind of see the confrontation between the two. And there is a power struggle between them. And even to the point where Allie goes up and is going to hit her.
Yeah.
And, you know, Hannah kind of steps in. And I like that Hannah is stepping up and kind of coming more into her own and, you know, being more confident about her opinions and her theories and things that she thinks, you know, needs to happen and kind of stepping it up. I really like to see that of her character.
She's been she's been learning from Spencer, being the investigator now and calling and finding out the Fitzgerald Foundation. And
we find out that, you know, they find Allie, they find out where she's hiding, that, you know, they trace the call back to this nightclub where she's dancing because, you know, she got to make some money. You know, she had to go make some money. So they find her and she's not happy to see them. You know, she's afraid somebody followed them, and, you know, that's kind of when, you know, the fighting ensues.
Yeah, I almost thought that she was more glad that she was like, did anybody see you? And they were like, no. And she's like, well, then get out of here because, like, I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And, like, I don't know. It was just...
So, do you guys think Ezra replace the diary or, you know, change the words in the diary to make sure they don't find Allie for their own good?
That's a tough question. I don't know.
Because of how she's acting towards the girls every single time she comes, you know, face to face with them, it's constantly, you know, she doesn't want anyone to find her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, why would you try to reach out to only one person, being Emily, and not the rest of the group?
I don't
It's
know.
like you want to come home, but you don't want anyone to find you or visit you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she just feels like there's still too much danger and she doesn't necessarily trust all of them. And she had a more intimate relationship with Emily. So I can see that may be why she initially is drawn to her in a vulnerable state more so than the other girls, because she always had to be kind of the tough leader for the other girls because of that, like, again, especially with Spencer, because of that power struggle. But with Emily, she could let her guard down, and it was a little bit more of a vulnerable relationship.
Yeah.
So therefore she can be a little bit on the weaker side and not feel bad about it. She feels a little bit more comfortable doing that with Emily. So maybe that's why, and that's why she was upset when, Emily brought Spencer.
I don't know. A lot of things were said in this episode that kind of sat with me, and I'm thinking about it. Little comments like Toby mentioning this isn't, A isn't a new person, basically, that it's been a beast that's you guys have been feeding for a while. So all of this must have been planned way before Allie even disappeared, because she needed to make sure the girls had secrets to take with her. Mm-hmm. So what is the real motive behind all of this? Is it because she's hiding from A, or is it because she's trying to create this power? I don't know.
Well, I think that's what's yet to be seen, really, because on the one hand, we saw that she seemed to be like truly frightened at one point where we saw her, and when she was leaving on the bus with no money, she looked and seemed like
we actually
really
felt
like
bad for her last
scared.
episode.
So it's kind of hard because it goes back and forth. But again, with this episode too, if we're taking it as it's inside Spencer's mind, this is the way Spencer is seeing her. Like, this is kind of Spencer's thought of how she is and maybe what she's doing, because she's kind of angry. So I don't know if we can fully take it as it being like Allie's personality coming out, because I think it's kind of, Spencer's take on it, really. And how, she, and the same with Arya, like, Arya not being around and then being so vulnerable, and them all being scared to really tell her what's going on.
Yeah.
And every time they're about to tell her, there's a gunshot or like, something happens that they're not going to, that they don't get to tell her.
Yeah, I think in real life they would have told her, and she wouldn't have gone over there. Thank God it was Toby, though.
Yeah, that was, but creepy, Ezra. It's safe over here. I'm gonna take care of you. That's like the creepiest things ever.
Yeah.
But why would he do that? That's what I didn't understand. It sounded like Ezra.
Yeah, it did. It sounded like him.
And then she walks up. It's Toby.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Arya she's realizing that what they had is not the same. She's made comments in the past tense about their love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now, we see it in this episode, but also we get a preview of the upcoming episode and how she's really gonna find out where her heart lies. Is it with Ezra, or is it the image of him that she had?
Right. And just kind of, their conversations and the way he talks about love and stuff was interesting to me in this episode, because even in the beginning, before we even get to the black and white stage, when they're in the car and she's talking about the story that she's writing and how it took a different turn, and originally she had this one hero and then it went to a villain, and it's kind of like his ears perk up, and
he's like, oh great, she's writing about her life again.
And it's like, but does the villain win? And she's like, sometimes the villain does, sometimes.
So do you think she's just saying that because she's writing a story, or has she picked up on clues and she wants to test him out to see what information or what reaction he gives to it?
I got the feeling that was the case in that situation.
Well, I actually don't even think it got that far. I thought it was kind of like she has a feeling, but she doesn't understand what it is yet. So her kind of using her writing to explore it, maybe. I think she's still kind of clouded by what she thinks that she's in love with him and whatever's going on with her feelings and this whatever relationship that they have. But I think she absolutely is picking up on something, but I just don't think she realizes what it is.
It's that gut feeling. She better trust it.
I know. Always go with your gut. Your shit's usually right. But even when Hannah is following Mona and, she catches her and they're in Ezra's apartment and Spencer and Ezra are talking, and he's talking about asking her, why haven't you told Arya about me, about who you think I am? And they have that confrontation. And he says, true love, you just can't kill it.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you think that meant? Does that, because if he is A and he's the one trying to hurt Allie and is in love with Allie and trying to kill her, is that kind of what he meant? That you can't kill, that's why Mona laughs, because they've been trying to kill Allie and she's still alive? Because they can't find her and kill her?
You know what? That's a good point.
That's a good point. But what I thought about was when Spencer got the call that they have a blonde and she needs to go pick her up from apartment 3B. And I'm like, she's like, you know where it is. And I'm thinking, how does she know? Like, is she dealing with them on, a different capacity that the girls don't know about? It just seemed like the conversation with Mona seemed like Spencer knew much more what was going on about the apartment and where it was, and she didn't need to give her a location.
I think it's the other way around, because you remember that Ezra had the cameras when Spencer was trying to break into his apartment. Like, he had cameras watching that. So if Mona and Ezra are teamed up together, then he's kind of filled her in on everything that's been going on. So I think it's just, I think you're right, but backwards.
Got it.
I think it's that Mona knows what she's been doing. So it's like, don't act like you don't know where we are.
Yeah.
You know, I know what you've been up to, kind of a thing. So that's why I think she said that. Because she was trying to break into his place recently to try to get some clues. But then Emily was right. When they broke into his office and finding that diary so quickly, it didn't feel right with her. And so, turns out that it was a setup. Like it always is. Like it always is.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because this story has been going on, and I think we're really ready for some answers. It's been too long.
I know. We had a comment on YouTube. They're like, okay, this show needs to end already. It's been 4 seasons and we know nothing.
Exactly.
But one question I do have, and it's for you guys and also the viewers, is Spencer really different than Allie? Allie makes a comment at the end, you're no different than me. Is she different, or are they really the same in different bodies?
I think they're similar, but I don't think they're the same, because I don't feel like Spencer is vengeful and spiteful the way that Allie is. I don't think that she's just as mean. Like, I think Allie is mean for fun. And Spencer is just a hard-headed kind of like type A personality that just is right all the time. One, because she's smart and usually is. And two, because she just can't be wrong. That's just part of her personality. But I don't necessarily think she's, like evil the way that Allie can come off to be. Not that she necessarily is, but she acts that way. Yeah. Like, that's kind of her power trip, is she thinks that being mean is powerful, and that's the way that you get people to, respect you or be friends with you or whatever. She doesn't know what it is, at least from what we've seen. She doesn't really know. I mean, she can be nice at times, but there's always a plot behind it. There's always something hidden in the meaning. She's never just nice to be nice. So I think like that's how they're different.
I'm ready for Spencer to put the pills aside and get to some real digging, because we need to know what's going on.
Yeah, we absolutely do. What else was I going to?
Oh, one more thing. I don't know if this was a clue, if we missed it. We looked really closely, guys, to try to find all the clues in the episode. But if you guys think the car plates had anything to do, or was that a clue to us, it was E9054, I believe.
Yeah, it was just the back plate.
Yeah, it zoomed in, on the plate. So I don't know if that has anything to do with
an address or something.
An address with the storyline. So if you guys know, comment on YouTube, tweet us, and let us know, because we want to know the clues as well.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see, what else do we have here? I want to know what the mermaid story is.
Yeah,
do you see what she was
I was trying to read
I know.
it, but it was too quick.
I know. I need to pause it and like read it. That's what I want to know. The mermaid
board shorts,
story.
mermaids, everything's
My Little
nautical
Mermaid.
themed.
I would be so infuriating if I found my friend that I'm searching for, and all of her writings are in code.
Yeah.
It would suck.
Oh my god.
And they've been switched now, so you don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, and like little like mundane details are switched that can completely change the whole way that the story goes, which is interesting. And only like a real like writer could do that.
Well, and you know what I'm worried about? Is that somebody switched things that didn't need to be switched. So now they're going to be put on some other road.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the whole point. Like, the way that we know Ezra to be, like, he's an English teacher.
Yeah.
And all that. Like, for somebody to even think to do that, like, you really have to kind of, I would think, like, know literary stuff and just really be into that kind of stuff. As much as he reads stories and all of that.
Well, and what if the original is not the right one and he switched it to something that's supposed to give them a clue.
Or what if they found the original and the one they took pictures of was the wrong one?
Yeah, or something like that. Well, I mean, like, what if the one they took pictures of has things that are not true and they think it's all original, and then now it has new clues that are just like they're supposed to be right.
knows?
I don't know.
Well, I guess Spencer has to take Ezra to lunch or dinner to find out if that's
Ew.
actually true.
Well, he wants to pick up the tab. I don't know how, I would be afraid to do what she did and even let him buy coffee with the 10-cent tip.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. Oh, also, one thing that happened, Arya gives Paige a camera. Do you remember that?
Yes, for her trip.
Right. But all these things with cameras and pictures and, Ezra having the girls followed and pictures taken and all of that, there's been a lot of speculation that Paige could possibly be part of the A-team.
Yeah.
And I know we've gone back and forth on this, a little bit. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's still a possibility, especially with the handing off of the camera?
Did the portrait of Allie come before or after the camera?
Before.
Okay, so that couldn't have been a portrait that was taken by Paige. I mean, I've had predictions since, I don't know what season that Paige was. I didn't necessarily think she was part of the A-team, but I didn't think she was in the relationship with good intentions.
Okay.
So we'll figure out and we'll see later on, hopefully soon, what's going on and why she ended up with Emily and the whole Shauna situation, being involved with Shauna, knowing how Shauna was against the girls. So I believe she might be with A now, the A-team.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting.
Good.
It's just like,
prediction.
or maybe it's just too obvious, the lake at her aunt's house and
Right.
I'm sorry, what was her name? She hasn't been around for a while. I completely forgot her name.
Which one?
Drowning.
Oh, yeah. Jenna. Yeah.
Jenna was
yeah.
drowning at her aunt's house, you know, in the lake, and she just, played it off like it was nothing and everything was fine and went to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's been clues, so I don't know if it's obvious clues, and they're just playing with us to, make us think differently of her character. But it is obvious.
Do you think that maybe she is kind of having the same thing with Emily, like we talk about a lot with Ezra and Arya, that maybe Ezra really was in love with her and then felt bad about that? Because, I mean, from what we see from Paige, it looks like she really is in love with Emily.
I think she has grown, to love her in the relationship, but I don't think she went into the relationship with the right intentions.
Okay.
So,
all right.
just a theory.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. It's definitely interesting, especially with, Arya always having a camera and people are kind of constantly bringing that up. And the more and more we know, at least for me, like notice how like sidelined she is and stuff and kind of like off on her own. So that is definitely an interesting thing. And what we see from the previews for the next episode is going to be pretty intense, and there's going to be a confrontation and all kinds of like good juicy things. So it looks like this is the lead in to the big reveals. We're going to jump out of Spencer's mind finally and hopefully get some real clarity and some real answers. Well, do you guys want to do news and gossip?
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so first, I can't ignore the costumes. So Mandy Line, she actually used outrageous, crazy color combos, knowing that it was all going to be black and white. So Sasha Pierce was quoted saying something about how when you were actually on set, everybody looked like clowns. Like, it was crazy, wild color combos, but she said Mandy Line did a great job knowing what color values would look good in black and white. So I thought that was really interesting. Another thing was that the sets that they used to shoot the show were on actual like noir film sets from Warner Brothers. So it was really legit. I thought that was cool too. And Ashley Benson is dating, Ryan Good? Is that his name? I just totally blanked on that. But so all the rumors about her dating Tyler Blackburn, not true. I totally blanked on that. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that's all I have for you.
All right, well, let's do some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
The new intro weirds me out. Sorry. One thing that I have to say is I like the black and white intro to the show, period. It made it a little bit more creepy, and I kind of want them to keep doing it that way.
Yeah.
It was more fun. All right, what do you guys think is going to happen? We saw the previews. Now, how do you think is going to go?
Okay, so I want to go with the Arya Ezra, what our caller called in to say Ezra is not A. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of feeling that he could possibly be pulling a Spencer, and he's working too hard to find Allie, but I don't think it's necessarily for evil.
Huh.
So maybe there is hope for Arya and Ezra, and he's in this creepy mode right now, but I'm hoping to pull him out of that.
Okay.
I don't even know what to predict. My mind is like,
Are you wigging out like Spencer?
yes.
Me too.
I'm going to say, I have a feeling Arya's going to stay with Ezra, not because she wants to be with him, but to start getting clues and finding out what he's up to after, the girls tell her what his real intentions are. Mm-hmm. So, let's see.
All right. Well, even after Arya's big comment, I think I liked you better when you were dead.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's going to kind of play into, all of this, because emotions are going to be running high when they tell her, and she really has to kind of sit with that. So I wonder which side she's going to go for, and it may not be the side that we think. I mean, I would kind of like to see her struggle with it, and I want to see her kind of go a little darker for a minute and, have to deal with it. That would be kind of fun for me to watch. So
Definitely.
We'll see.
And confirmation, it is Ryan Good.
Okay. Ashley Benson is dating Ryan Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to go to iTunes, download our podcast for free, rate and comment, and also leave comments on YouTube as we do read them, and we love to hear all of your theories. And you can follow us at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter and all the other social media platforms. And make sure to follow me, Kelly with an IE079 on Twitter and Instagram.
And follow me at SarahGGG on Twitter.
That always gets me.
It rhymes and everything.
You guys can find me on gqjedi.com.
All right, and we'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.